Hello and welcome to Backpage
Oh,
Pass
that's
Game Week 10 review. It's a more intimate show this week as it's just Mark Corcoran and myself, John O'Donnell, but hopefully will be more than enough as we reflect on last week's Premier League action and look ahead to the coming week's Premier League action. We're going to start with Manchester United beating Arsenal 2-1, and Arsene Wenger said after the match that Arsenal created the better chances, but it was a bit of a shame that they created them for Manchester United, wasn't
it? Before I start, can I just Wenger?
Okay, that's the last one.
I think there was a stat that of all the fixtures last week, the team that had the most passes were Arsenal, and the player who had the most successful passes was Per Mertesacker.
I was noticing that during the game. He looked very composed on the ball.
Of course, none of it means anything when you lose.
Yeah,
like I found that kind of interesting when I heard it. I just heard it today, but because they looked aimless in that game, I didn't even think United played that well, but I just felt that this isn't the bag. Literally from the second minute when Van Persie scored, but like that goal just summed it up. I mean, Vermaelen supposed to be good defender, big reputation. I mean, big mistake there to give away a sloppy goal. But until the 93rd minute when they got their goal, they literally no threat. I felt they caused no problems at all for the United defence, and it was a really comfortable victory for United. And it capped off a decent week. Like they put in a good performance on the Wednesday. They were unlucky to go out of the Capital One Cup, but overall it was a good week with the win against Chelsea and the win against Arsenal. Potentially United could have been 7 points off top spot, and now as the weekend went, they are top spot. So it couldn't have gone much better for Fergie and Man United.
I think it's interesting that you mentioned the two centre backs there, because I think Mertesacker seems to have become the best centre half of the three that they have from being the worst last season.
Yeah, who saw that coming?
Yeah, it was just like all of a sudden people seem to be rating him a bit better. But Vermaelen, is he overrated in general? He gives away a lot of silly free kicks, and he slides around a lot and misses the ball and whatever.
I don't think he's overrated. It really surprised me how poor he played in that match. My dad texted me in the middle of that match and he goes, "Didn't know United signed Vermaelen." Yeah. But he's normally more composed. I would always consider him a more commanding player. And maybe one of the leaders in that team. In a team that lacks leaders, he was one of them. But what your point about Mertesacker, I'm not sure that Mertesacker has done much to become the number one centre half.
The other two just got worse.
Got worse, yeah. So it's hard to know what's going on with Arsenal. I think that maybe they just have a soft underbelly. Like they're capable of such great performances and great victories, but really when it comes down to it, they don't. On the big day, 9 times out of 10, they don't have what it takes.
And I think another thing that I think is affecting them as well is the lack of Gibbs, because Santos has been playing left back for about a month now. And it's been a horrible month. I don't care about that. I don't know why people give about him shopping shirts. Give out about him being awful. He was really awful.
I think he's another stat. He's the player in the Premier League that the winger has gone past more times.
More than
any other left back.
I don't think he bothers.
No, well,
he's not even that good going forward though, because he loses the ball when he gets forward. It's just ridiculous.
His crowning achievement will be the goal in the 5-3 at Stamford Bridge. I don't think he'll do anything until he leaves Arsenal. I think they've kind of got stuck with him. The shirt swapping thing I found was very funny, because in the tunnel before the game, Van Persie was very palsy with a lot of those guys. Even even Wenger went up to Van Persie at one stage, and they seemed quite happy to see each other and all the rest. But I would imagine that in professional football, a lot of people go into dressing rooms at half time and full time and congratulate each other on victories and swap shirts and things like that. And if fans knew the half of it, they probably wouldn't be happy.
I'd say full time, definitely. Not so much half time.
Well, I just know from testimonials and stuff, from autobiographies that I've read, I've heard of players going in and swapping shirts and stuff like that. Like even when you're coming out for the second half and things like that, You never know. But I think if fans knew the half of it, if a Newcastle player went into the Sunderland dressing room to,
I'd be more there.
you know what I mean, and it probably goes on. But it's just the fact that it happened on the pitch, the fact that it was almost like a little brother coming up to a big brother kind of thing. He looked up to him so much. You could kind of sense it. That I would imagine that would really irritate the Arsenal fans.
Well, it seemed to even irritate Wenger, but he said that they put it behind them and they're moving on. And we're going to move on to the Swansea one, Chelsea one at the Liberty Stadium. And Chelsea struggled. I mean, Michu could have won that game. He had 2 very good chances.
Swansea won, Chelsea won, but nobody won.
Oh.
Keep that in the bag for the next time.
Two weeks down the line, you're going to hear me use that.
Yeah.
Like, when there's somebody else here and then they go, oh, that was great. You should have moved that yourself. Yep.
Yeah. The key point of that whole game for me was obviously a long week for Man United, obviously a long week for Chelsea. They'd played their first team against United on the previous Sunday. Then a lot of those first team guys played again on the Carling Cup, and one of them was Mikel. And both Mikel and Ramirez for the actual Swansea goal they were almost hoping that this Swansea move isn't going to come to anything. You know, they were making half-hearted attempts to close the ball down, and what your man's name is Gonzalez?
Pablo.
Oh, Hernandez. Sorry. He kind of he gave a 1-2, followed it on, and stuck it away. It was a great goal, but I think if that game had been played the previous weekend and the United game was this weekend, I'd say Chelsea would have blocked it out and got the result there. But who knows? Even they had dreadful weather during that match as well, the hailstones and all. So maybe some of those Chelsea guys were just not really feeling up to it.
Yeah, Oscar looked confused by the hailstones. Yeah. There's ice falling from the sky. What's happening? Chelsea struggles. They struggle to score and to do much in the final third. Do you think Sturridge should be starting more often, either out wide or up front? I mean, Moses started ahead of him, and
well, Moses doesn't get very many starts, so I'd imagine that they had the Shakhtar game in mind. Even though Moses got the winner in that game, but he still started on the bench. But Moses isn't the first choice there by any stretch. Would you start Sturridge ahead of Torres?
Some games I would against Swansea.
Yeah,
I think Torres is going to burn out if you play him too much. Which is another problem they're going to have. Like they play, like you said, they played all their big players. I know they dropped Torres. Well, not dropped, rested Torres in the second United game. But come the end of the season, he's going to be. They only have those 2 strikers, and they might bring Lukaku back, but they could struggle with burnout, especially if Sturridge has to play out wide sometimes as well.
The other thing about burnout is, I think it was on Monday Night Football. I was watching that they had a panel up for United, City, and Chelsea. They had to say the top 5 or 6, their superstar players from each team, the most offensive players. So Torres and Mata and Hazard and Oscar, and the average minutes on the pitch for Chelsea's players so far this season was 17 hours, in around 17 hours, and both United and City was closer to 10.
So
when you consider that the December that Chelsea are going to have with the World Club, they have Carling Cup to play as well. They have important Champions League games with Juventus, and they have then the Danish team.
Nordsjælland.
Yeah, they have to go to Juventus and will probably need to at least draw that match. Whereas United can rest all their guys. City can effectively do the same because they're out. So they've got a lot of challenges coming up, and they will probably need to spend in January to refresh the squad or at the very least, they're going to need to bring Lukaku back in for another striking option because going back to Sturridge, I don't know if they have a lot of confidence in him.
Especially now as a centre forward.
Yeah, and that's the area that they need to have confidence in him.
Although they don't seem to have much confidence in Lukaku either. How much was Mata was rested? How much was his absence felt?
He was injured, wasn't he?
Is that what it was?
I think so, because I picked my fantasy team and then I just discovered that somehow he was injured and not playing. But then Sean Maloney got an assist, so it all worked out okay.
I think it's time for me to pull a wild card out because I was like...
Have you not played yours?
No.
I've played mine already, yeah.
Mine's coming in.
But you get another one in January, so you may as well
You get 2?
You get one for the month of January and then one other one to use at any stage.
Oh, I think I might. No, I need it now.
Yeah, you need to.
I'm doing awful.
But back on the point, which was
Mata.
He's having a great season.
Back to the Mata in hand.
The man in hand, yeah. He's having a great season, and I think he played quite well last night against Shakhtar. They do miss him though.
He seems to be the one making them tick. Speaking of teams where there's a little Spaniard working as a number 10 making things tick, Man City, they're missing Silva. They drew 0-0 with West Ham.
Silva though, I think has lost a bit of his form. Maybe that's just because
he hasn't played in how long?
Sorry,
Silva hasn't played in a
yeah,
good
he's injured though, I think.
Yeah, I know, but it's hard to have form when you're not playing.
No, but before that, I think he lost his form, and that could be to do with the fact that it's just Spain, City. There's so many matches to play, and if you look at Spain,
he
will
was
be
undroppable a bit for Man City.
Yeah,
well.
But Spain will be playing in the Confederations Cup in the summer next year, so there could be a lot of those guys that will find it hard, but you never know. But I don't know if they're missing him that much because I think since the season has begun, he hasn't been the integral figure that he was last year. They've been trying to find other ways to do things, and they've kind of really been stumbling along a lot of the time with kind of close victories by maybe 1-0 like they did Swansea the previous weekend. But that was one of my points about Steelers.
They seem to be changing the formation to more of a 4-4-2 as opposed to the old 4-2-3-1. I just imagine Platt and Mancini's team talks like, put more strikers on, and then Mancini, no more.
Yeah.
Like, they started with 3 strikers.
Yeah.
And then brought on Aguero as well. Like, they just...
I don't think they know what they want, really.
Just throw on strikers, they'll do the job. But you need somebody to get the ball to the strikers. That's Silva's job.
When they do the 3 at the back thing, the players say, no, we don't know how to play that. And then the strikers probably don't know how to play together, even though they all want to play. Mm-hmm. And Balotelli just seems to throw a strop every time you're looking at him. They're damn lucky not to lose to West Ham because that goal was onside. I think they could hit the crossbar as well, West Ham.
Yeah, and then Andy Carroll's overhead kick was amazing.
That went wide, didn't it? Or just over?
It came off somebody and went wide.
Oh, okay.
But they only gave a goal kick instead of a corner.
But I know they created chances, City, but in the general flow of play, I think the best chances went to West Ham. It's a difficult place to go at Upton Park, but they were lucky to come out with a draw. But then again, sometimes you need that bit of luck. May time, you could be looking back at these results and saying it was crucial that they hung on there. Then maybe not.
West Ham probably do deserve some credit, but I don't like Sam Allardyce, so I'm not going to give them any. Tottenham 0, Wigan 1, and Spurs had snuck up to 4th place going into this game.
Yeah,
and they look like they
kicking themselves. They were booed off as well. I think a lot of Spurs fans.
They just generally don't like AVB.
I'd say that. Like there was a point made that's media coverage. He was never given a chance there. He's not actually done that bad.
He got booed. Well, there was booing when Defoe came off for Adebayor. Now Defoe
that happens at every ground when there's an unpopular decision, but you never know what was behind that.
Well, Defoe was sick going into the match apparently.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't have started. What does that say about Adebayor that AVB is going right? I'd rather have a sick little guy than my big number 9.
I would imagine that was. I would rather go with the guy who's in form. Maybe that's the way he was thinking. I don't know if Adebayor was actually his number 1. I know he did well with Spurs last season, and maybe that's why Levy wanted to keep going. But the point made about Adebayor that he tends to do well at clubs that he's on loan at.
He's great at Real Madrid.
And he was at loan at City as well, wasn't it, the first time, and then City signed him, and he did nothing then.
No, they bought him.
They actually bought him.
He started very well.
Yeah. Did loan with Real Madrid. There was a point made about it, but maybe he's one of those kind of guys that if you make him too comfortable, he doesn't do the business. But in fairness to him, he hasn't really been given a chance so far. He hasn't got any minutes on the pitch, but I think he has had a back injury. But I think second half of the season he could come good for them because he's a good player in general.
He gets rested. Yeah, sometimes players just need to go away and then come back.
Yeah.
Also, they need Dembele back. They seem to really be missing it. When he came into the team, they got that initial burst. They've been a bit lucky.
What kind of team would they have if they had have got Moutinho in the end?
I don't think they would have bothered buying Dembele.
No, I think because Moutinho was the last hour that they didn't get him.
Dempsey wouldn't have signed.
Yeah, but because I think it's in that position that they're kind of lacking. He's the kind of guy to take control of. Like even Sigurdsson hasn't really established himself as a starter yet. I just think that would have brought them on heaps and amounts.
And what about
Leaps and bounds.
Leaps
and
and bounds. What about Dembele and Dempsey's old club, Fulham, who drew 2-2 with Everton somehow?
Yeah, we all kind of said that Everton were going to win that match, and then they didn't.
Yeah.
Somehow.
I don't know. Moyes was very disappointed at the end. He said he wanted to stay close to the big boys, and they dominated that match.
I'd say he's putting a lot of pressure on the players and himself to, this is the year that we're going to do, kind of thing. 2-2 at Fulham, it's not a bad result though. They've got some good things going for them, but I suppose when you get your chances, you better take them, and they didn't do that. But at the end of the day, it's not going to trip them up too badly. A draw is better than a loss.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. 1 point is better than no points.
Someone who did get 3 points, Norwich beat Stoke 1-0, which I'm delighted about. I am delighted about, but I can't really remember any highlights from the game.
No, but Stoke, the one thing actually about Stoke is the next 3 or 4 games, I think they've quite winnable for them fixtures. So they've got a lot of draws so far this season, so next run of games they'll be hoping to pick up maybe 6 or 7 points. But then again, if you're losing to Norwich, you can't really aim your hopes too high, can you?
Well, I hope they lose and get relegated, but it's not going to happen.
Stoke, you don't like them?
No.
Because the whole don't play football thing?
Yeah, they picked up 5 yellow cards in the game. Or 5 or 6. There's a lot of yellow cards. It's half your team.
Yeah.
No?
I've heard higher.
Yeah, well, obviously there's been higher, but it's like, we're not going to bother playing football. We're just going to kick them. Sunderland 0, Villa 1. Speaking of not playing football, I've nothing really about the match. Just Sunderland's stats now. To 2 shots on target in 3 games. The lowest shots on target in Europe. Demba Ba was their top scorer in October. Well,
why does that mean they got 1 goal in October?
Yeah. And it was the own goal.
Well, the weird thing about them is, you know that thing people always say about the teams that get promoted is the hardest thing to do is score goals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Sunderland are getting relegated, but they can't score goals.
Yeah.
That's what's going on with that. Like, they must be pretty good defensively, but even if I look at their back line, it doesn't really inspire me that much. So I wonder the Martin O'Neill factor, how many points is that?
I heard people talking about him. You know, people have always talked about him for the United job and for other jobs. And I think he's really ruined his career by going to Sunderland.
Well, he was out of work, so...
Yeah, and he was always a Sunderland fan as well.
Yeah, you can't play him going back in. No, he was never going to get the United job, though.
Yeah.
But he could get a Liverpool, Tottenham type job.
Not now, he couldn't.
Because of the Sunderland job?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So how bad he's doing. If he'd done well, obviously.
Well, it's pretty early days. He's only been there less than a year.
Yeah.
I'd say they'll probably you're just dying for
I loved Martin O'Neill when he was at Celtic, and I still like him as a person, but as a manager, football has passed him by.
Maybe he was a bit
I mean, it's Villa.
Maybe he was a bit choosy when he was out of work. Maybe he should have come back in earlier, but I think just give him a chance. Give him a chance, John. Give him a chance.
No chances for him. Lowest number of chances in Europe, as I say again.
Yeah.
QPR 1, Reading 1. Neither team has a win yet. Is there any point in going over all ground here?
Well, it's Reading, QPR, and Southampton in the bottom 3. Is there any argument to say that it's not going to be like that?
It's very likely going to be those 3. I can't. Well,
maybe QPR.
Sunderland could slip down there.
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Villa. Oh no, I like having Sunderland in the league as healthy competition for Newcastle, but obviously I want us to be a lot better than them, and it's all working out for me this year.
I the only team out of those 3 that really maybe QPR will buy their way out.
Well, they tried that during the summer.
I know, but they're going to keep trying it. You know, so maybe they'll
dig up, stupid.
Yeah, maybe they'll find a way. I don't know, but looking at that match, you really just felt that I'm nothing against Reading, but these are going down. Like, you know, they just don't have the players.
It's not good enough.
Yeah, that's just the sad reality. Even the Southampton match against West Brom, the West Brom fans were chanting, "You're going down with the Villa," and they were loving it. Like it was the whole match long, "Down with the Villa." They were like, because when was the last time West Brom were this high against above Villa? But my point being that Southampton fans couldn't sing anything back because they are going down. Maybe not with the Villa, but they're going down.
And we're going to get to that game in a minute. But first, I want to talk about Liverpool 1, Newcastle 1. Very disappointed in Colaccini. Because he played pretty well. Like,
You thought it was a red?
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You didn't need to do it. I mean, I'm kind of happy he kicked Suarez, but also in a
It was
way,
more of a rake, though, wasn't it?
it was. He's trying to get away with it.
Yeah.
It's just very Argentinian type of thing to do. Just, I'm going to kick this guy,
Yeah.
and nobody's going to see it. And the linesman's just looking at it going, it's a red. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? But
I don't know. I mean,
he had, on Match of the Day, they were talking about how Suarez gave him such a hard time. But I could see Colaccini was making Suarez play balls into positions where there were no Liverpool players, so it just got mopped up.
yeah,
So you'd see Suarez going past Colaccini, but he was going nowhere.
yeah.
Colaccini had him for it was like Suarez did beat him a few times and gave him a hard time enough for him to want to kick. But he wanted to kick him from the start. So,
But I called that one going into it that Newcastle would win 2-1, and I really felt up until the red card that they were going to win that match. Yeah.
I thought Liverpool deserved to win, if I'm being honest.
Well, after
thought they
they
played better.
created a lot of chatting, like Shelby. How do you miss that?
Yeah.
Maybe he's falling backwards, but how do you miss that? But Ben Arfa, I thought, played quite well. He running at Liverpool, he caused them a lot of problems. Maybe his final pass, he picked the wrong one, or he shot at times that he shouldn't have shot at. But I think Newcastle should be pretty happy with that. Liverpool were kind of walking off the pitch, looking like we should have won that match. But from the first half, certainly, I thought Newcastle looked like they were going to do it.
It was. They only got a point because of a moment of magic of Suarez,
Yeah.
and also a moment of idiocy from Stephen Taylor because he stood 5 yards behind the rest of his defence.
Yeah.
And Pardew came out after the game and said, "Oh well, he wasn't expecting to lose the ball that high at the pitch, but be expecting it.
Yeah.
You should. You're a defender. You're a Premiership defender.
Yeah.
You demanded 60 grand a week. Step up 5 yards. Lazy.
I'd say your cousin was disappointed with the one we talked to him.
I haven't talked to him yet.
No.
Oh, we're gonna have to get on him.
Did you see at halftime that as well? The Liverpool fans getting drenched.
No.
The
Guy with his hands out, like
with the sprinkler just started like it was like a robot with a mind of its own, just turned on the fans and just started spraying them.
Well, I've always said Liverpool fans are all wet. All wet. That's more of an old American term, really.
I don't get it.
If it was 1950s America, that would have been just crazy funny.
Uh,
Although we wouldn't have had a podcast in 1950s America, so we wouldn't be here.
no, we wouldn't. We'd be talking on the wireless.
Oh, the wireless.
Yeah.
Good old wireless.
But the best thing about that was that the stewards seemed to kind of stand there, and it's your own fan, like, and your man with his arms out was like, "Is anyone going to stop this madness?"
Was that the steward's job?
Take
What are
one
they
for the
supposed to
team,
do?
Put your jacket on top of it.
Oh, that would have been clever.
And it comes out like,
And then it
in
just
the middle
goes
of-
everywhere.
yeah, I don't know.
Your jacket's fired into the
It
crowd.
was pretty funny, but I was actually thinking because originally you couldn't see where it was getting sprayed into, so I was kind of thinking, oh, I wonder is John's cousin in there? Like, getting
He was
right.
on the cup. Was it on the cup?
No, it was you know that stand that where the managers sit.
Yeah.
It was kind of up towards the Newcastle fans end of it.
But not at the Newcastle
Not
fans.
at the
'cause it was
Newcastle
Liverpool
fans. They must have been having the time of their life looking at that. Like,
Speaking of having a time of their lives, you said it earlier, West Brom are doing amazing at the moment. 2-0 against Southampton. And I think Southampton really just needed another year in the Championship. They kind of...
yeah. Why do you even write your links when I just give them to you? Yeah, that's exactly it. Southampton just needed they've risen too high, too fast.
Too quick,
but
yeah.
Again, their fans won't be complaining about that. They're probably just enjoying the year. They get relegated. They get their nice
parachute
parachute payments.
They got a great front four.
What's wrong with coming up again? Then the season after, you have a better chance then to build as a club.
What do you think? People are talking about Atkins losing his job.
Why would you sack him?
Exactly.
Why? I think at the very least, to take them from League One Championship, I think they won the championship. They certainly finished second if they didn't win it.
Second. Yeah, Reading won.
Like, even if they lost every game this year, he earned the right to have a go at managing the Premier League by getting them up so fast. All that money that he would have earned Southampton, so they still play quite good football. They still go for it. They're not parking the bus as it were. But no, you can't.
Maybe that's
sack
the
him.
problem.
But I think they probably will sack him. That's the sad thing about it. But
Yeah, because the new owners.
yeah, but you gotta give him the season.
Anyway,
You gotta give him till November, December of the following season when they've been sacked,
When they've been relegated.
to see can he get them back up.
Because he got them up. Nobody else would have got them up the way
Yeah.
he did.
No, well maybe Paul Lambert because he did with Norwich, but
Yeah, but Anyway, Mark, do you think that that Adkins has his players on a certain kind of diet?
Is this some kind of sick joke?
You know, like the Atkins diet.
Oh, yes.
Well, anyway, I'm not on a diet, so I'm going to get some nibbles. We'll be back with a chunk of upcoming fixtures for you to chow down on, and that'll be just after the guitars do their thing.
Can I have some nibbles?
No. Okay, part 2, upcoming fixtures. We'll start with Arsenal versus Fulham. It's a kind of a London derby. Do you think Theo Walcott will start this one? It'll be his first league start of the season if he does.
Yeah, I was really kind of stunned when I heard that because he kind of just presumed he would play, but he got injured with England.
Yeah, he keeps getting injured.
Yeah,
or getting viruses. Or
I get the feeling that it's kind of a stalemate. That it's like, here, you're not playing until you sign the contract. It's kind of with your
it's getting harder for them to do that.
Yeah, with his arms folded and his kind of sourpuss on, like, you're not playing. But even though Walcott goes right grand, and then every time he comes on, he does well. Like,
I made up a stat, which I'm very proud of doing.
Made up a stat.
I put together the information and then did some maths. Theo Walcott has a goal every 74 minutes that he's played in all competitions for Arsenal this season.
Yeah,
it was 68 at half time during the Schalke match, but then there was another 40 odd minutes. He also, just in the league alone, he has a better goals per minute record than the likes of Rooney, Lambert, Holt, Defoe. Like I was having this argument on Saturday, and somebody kept throwing names at me. I was like, right, I'll check that for you. And he's better goals per minute for all those people.
Yeah.
So, should they be signing him for a contract?
Oh, they should. Well, they've offered him a contract, and he doesn't want to sign it until they give him the contract he wants.
They've offered 75. He wants 100, apparently.
He'll take.
It's got to be a grey area in there somewhere.
Yeah, he'll take somewhere near between 85 and 90, I'd say.
But every time they drop him and he comes on and saves the day, they have to be going. He must be going. It's going to cost you $9,000 a week, lads.
Yeah, but one of these times, surely Arsenal are going to have to give somebody what they want.
Yeah,
like they wouldn't give
eventually.
Going back to like Ashley Cole, they wouldn't give Ashley Cole what he wanted.
Yeah,
and
he wanted too much though.
But again, like there must have been a grade.
Although they haven't had a good left back since him.
Well, Gibbs could.
Yeah. Clichy could have. They all could, but nobody's been an Ashley Cole.
Yeah, but the thing about, like, you have to give it to, if you want to be up there. But maybe Arsenal don't want to be up there. Maybe they're just happy being fourth. I don't know. Like, I feel sorry for their fans if that's the case, because they were chanting, "We want our Arsenal back," but it doesn't look like they're going to get their Arsenal back.
Their Arsenal will cost money.
Yeah, they will.
They just want their Arsenal handed to them.
Yeah.
Anyway, next game, Everton versus Sunderland. Oh, you didn't know about?
And I was just going to say, I don't know if Walcott will start.
Okay.
I'd like to think so, though, because...
Yeah. I'd just like to see it.
Yeah, because it's a bit petty to not start him over.
The games are always better when Theo plays.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his.
They'll, at the very least, stretch Fulham.
Yeah.
Anyway, going in.
Everton versus Sunderland. Fellaini is likely to cause a lot of trouble to Sunderland, isn't he?
Yeah, but the real key of that is Sunderland aren't going to cause any trouble to Everton. Like, so you may as well bomb everything forward, Everton, because they're not. If they hit the target, there's no guarantee that they're even going to score. So, Fellaini's causing trouble to everybody he's playing against. So. I can't see John O'Shea being able to stop him. No offense, John, but I just don't. So I'd have to pick a comfortable win there. Maybe a 2-0 for Everton. Okay,
and the next game is Reading versus Norwich. Reading have to win this one, right?
Going down.
Finally going to happen.
Down with the Villa.
They have to.
Norwich are on a decent run when you look at their last, so I don't see that not stopping. I wonder what the longest. There's a stat for you. I wonder what the longest run of games without winning is, like from the start of a Premier League season.
I would imagine it was that season when McCarthy was in charge of something.
So I was going to say, because they got the lowest points, didn't they?
Yep.
Or Derby came pretty close a couple of years ago.
Did Derby beat that record?
But anyway, because Reading seem to get into these good positions where they're 1 or 2 goals up and just blowing it. So, I would have zero confidence in actually win that game.
For Norwich, Houlihan likely to start. Also, very probably going to get a 45 minutes for Ireland against Greece.
Well, I hope so. I wonder will Trapattoni go watch them again?
He seems to be only seeing them and Sunderland and Stoke.
Yeah, well,
we don't have players.
He's hardly going to go to like watch Man United playing.
Yeah, Robbie Brady's at Hull.
Yeah,
so.
And even if he wasn't, you may as well go to. I don't even think Robbie Brady's getting in the under-21s. So
no, he was. Well, he's at Hull.
Well,
he's
not
at
the
Hull
last
now
couple
anyway,
of games I was watching. Anyway, and so was Myler actually gone to Hull today.
Did he?
Yeah. So
how are they still allowed loan at this stage? What's the point of a transfer deadline if it's just going to be
for championship clubs? It could be emergency loan. I don't know. And so was your man El Mohammadi is at Hull from Sunderland as well.
No, at Hull. Oh, he didn't go to Hull. He went to Wolves.
You know, he's there. He's
okay.
at Hull. Yeah, I was reading all about it today.
Okay, fair enough.
Sky Sports.
Hull better start winning some games.
Yes, well, Steve Bruce. I wonder is he one of those kind of managers that's just kind of tanking at the moment. You're asking me about Norwich and Wes Houlihan. I hope he plays 45 minutes. Well, I hope he plays longer than that because I think we really need to start experimenting. As Celtic have shown, like the Celtic have a vastly different squad to Ireland.
Not really, no.
Well, there you go. Celtic have shown you can put in good performances. You don't always have to lose 6-1 to a team that has better players than you. Celtic have shown it twice. They were very unlucky to lose in the new camp and did well to win at home with 11% of possession.
Well, I've heard UEFA gave
11
them
to 16% of possession.
UEFA gave them 33%, and then Opta gave them 14%. Then Sky gave them 11%. So
yeah, but
all of them are just a guy with two stopwatches. So
yeah, but you know what I mean. Barcelona had nearly 1,000 passes. Yeah. Celtic had 160. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. So anyway, my point being is that with careful organisation, a good tactical plan, even if you fall behind in games, it doesn't mean the world is going to end. You can still achieve things, and I think there's a lesson in there to Trapattoni.
Houlihan can create.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to start sprucing up the team a bit because what happened against Germany really wasn't good enough.
Yes. Speaking of not good enough, Southampton versus Swansea. Are Southampton going to be good enough?
God, no. They're just another team that just don't inspire me, and I think they're going down. I like them, I like the principle of it, but they're just
down with the Villa.
Down with the Villa, yeah, down with the Villa. I wouldn't actually mind seeing Villa go down. Don't know why.
Yeah, they're not doing anything for me this year either.
No, they're not. But I like them in general as a club. Although I think their fans are supposed to be a pretty grumpy shower of feckers. But
who, Villa?
Villa, yeah.
Oh, I thought they were.
O'Neill always said that about them. That they gave
they
gave them nothing. They just nothing but complaining. But anyway, I'd like to see them go down because I think a lot of people at that club need to wake up, similar to the way Newcastle have woken up since they've come back up.
Yeah, we'll get the chairman off theirs.
Yeah, but Southampton are going down, and I think Swansea will get 3 points there.
Stoke QPR. I really want QPR to get a win here. I don't think they will though.
No.
Well, the way to beat Stoke.
That's got draw written all over it though, doesn't it?
The way to beat Stoke is you need a kind of individual to just beat their robotic system that they have of getting along. So the
last game against Reading, apart from the finishing, he looked quite good at splitting defences. So did Cisse. So there's potential to score all right, but
Granero will have plenty of time on the ball.
Yeah, but I can't see them keeping a clean sheet. I know that Stoke aren't that good going forward, but even from a set play,
maybe they should have spent some of their money on a decent centre half. And boy, it doesn't look like it's worth the money.
10 goalkeepers.
Yeah,
it doesn't work. You can't put like 6 in goals. You have to buy centre half.
Wigan versus West Brom. Shane Long, will he start? Won't he start? I mean, we were told he wouldn't start the last game by Trapattoni, and then he started it, played 70 minutes.
Yeah, and played quite well.
Yeah.
He seems to have a lot of admirers at West Brom. A lot of people chanting his name, a lot of banners in the crowd for Shane Long.
Top player.
Yeah, why wouldn't they? So, he has to start that game.
And Wigan
are just one of those teams that if you say they're going to lose, they're going to win. And if you say they're going to win, they're going to lose. And if you say they're going to draw, they probably won't even turn up. So I'm going to just say that there's going to be a result in that match for one of the teams.
Well said, Mark. And the subjects of West Brom's ire, Aston Villa, they wear the same jersey. They're at home to Manchester United in the late kickoff.
Yeah, United have a very good record there though, going back through the years in both
Cups.
FA Cup.
Even when they were playing at Villa Park as that neutral ground in the FA Cup.
They have a very good record there. I think last season they might have given us a bit of a scare, I think, but maybe it was the season before. But you have to say, they're going to win that match. I personally would be very disappointed if we didn't, because we're coming into a run of games over the festive period where you want to be building up momentum, and we've got the pole position in the table, and you want to be kicking on from there. And Villa is one of if you were to pick an away ground, I'd probably pick a match at Villa Park for a victory, because just it tends to be quite an open match there, and I'd fancy us to score goals there.
And then we move on to the Sunday, Man City against Tottenham in the early kickoff. City off form, Tottenham just kind of knocked off form a bit.
Yeah, City will win that though, because seems to be a lot of kind of the world is against this attitude of Manchester City at the moment. Like everybody's picking on Mancini in the press conferences.
When you start giving him stick, that's when he starts doing stuff properly.
Yeah, Mancini's going on after the referees after the draw with Ajax.
Goal.
That's what he's shouting at the referees.
Goal.
Goal. Well, that's the one English word he has. So
no, his English is very good. I mean, you can say a lot about Roberto Mancini, but don't you dare insult his capacity to speak English.
How dare you undermine my cheap shot? I'd fancy him to win that, but I think it'll be a good game though, because I don't see Tottenham going there for a draw. I think they went to Old Trafford and won, so they'll try and hit them hard early on, and it could be a good match, that one, all right. But I'll go with City to win that one though.
Newcastle are at home to West Ham. It's another return of Andy Carroll. It's not the return. He came back last year already.
What reception is he going to
get? I don't think he got a bad reception.
He did the last time. Remember?
That was because he dived.
But even before that, because they loved when he dived. They loved it.
Or fell over. It's the jury's still out, I think, on that one.
No, he dived. But you probably still get the booze though, would he?
Probably a bit.
But did he kind of choose West Ham over Newcastle?
No.
He never got the opportunity.
He was saying the only place he'd leave Liverpool for was Newcastle. And Newcastle were trying to get a deal to go through, and then Liverpool were just kind of like, look, we're not giving them to you because we'll look stupid.
Yeah.
So he went, right, well, I have to go, so I'll go to West Ham.
But he could conceivably end up back at Newcastle.
Eventually, yeah. But I think West Ham have first option if they stay up, and they will. I think they have to buy him if they stay up.
Yeah.
For 17 million.
Ugh. That's a bit overpriced, isn't it?
Well, for them, he's keeping them up.
Yeah, but
when he doesn't play, they lose.
So 17 plus 17 is 34, and they signed for 35.
What?
17 million plus 17 is 30. So he's halving in price.
Yeah.
And when West Ham go down the following season, he'll be then sold for 9.5
to Newcastle.
8.5. 8.5. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
there's probably a clause that Liverpool have put in it that you can't sell him to Newcastle ever. Nobody's ever allowed to sell him to Newcastle ever.
A permanent loan then.
And then the final game of the weekend is
Newcastle will beat West Ham, by the way.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
We're due. Well, Colaccini.
They're going to win.
Carroll and Stephen Taylor did not get along apparently. Very much so.
Yeah, so Stephen Taylor cleans him out at the start of the match.
No, Carroll won the fight, so
yeah, Stephen Taylor will then give him a cheap shot.
Do you reckon he'll do a Suarez on him and just kind of rake his leg down the back?
Yeah, well, Carroll hasn't scored, so maybe this is his chance to get his first goal. But I still think Newcastle
that's the way scripts are written, but hopefully this won't go to script. Now, back to that game that I was about to bring us to. Chelsea versus Liverpool.
Chelsea are going to win that.
Yeah.
Liverpool, the thing about what I was just saying about, scoring goals and all the rest, you got a great one out of nothing against Newcastle, but you can't rely on goals out of nothing. Because if you really, apart from that, they created some good chances for Shelby, and I think he missed more than one. But then, they've kind of fallen back in this thing where the ball drops outside the box and Steven Gerrard is running onto it.
That hasn't happened at all this season.
It happened the last Newcastle match, and of course I've noticed it a couple of times this season where he just hits the first man that's running out.
He's lost it.
Yeah, that's why you can't rely on stuff like that anymore. Like, he's not the same player he was. They have to kind of look. It's early days for what's his name?
Rodgers.
Yeah. But the kind of the evolving of that team needs to continue apace because I have no confidence in them to beat Chelsea at all.
I would expect because Liverpool, part of Rodgers' whole system is that the defence play pretty wide and spread out and pass the ball. If they give the ball away cheaply at any stage,
when they give the ball,
which Gerrard will do, Hazard and Oscar and Mata could really punish them.
Having said that though, Liverpool have a decent record of actually beating Chelsea in the last couple of years at Stamford Bridge or getting results there, I think. But
different managers, I think.
Yeah, I just don't have confidence in them.
No, I would say Chelsea will win that one. Well then, I think it's time to go.
Grease lightning.
We're going to end. Well, I had written a script with a lot of Greece references, but then I kind of had to change it because I realised there's Premiership games before the Greece one. But anyway, one last Greece reference in honour of next Wednesday's friendly. And it is Wednesday, it's not Tuesday. Some people have been getting...
Definitely it's Wednesday.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. I was planning that as Tuesday, but there we go. Wednesday's friendly, and I'll say we'll go together like Ramalama Lama and the Dingity Dingy Dong. Many thanks to Mark Corcoran, who remains Mark Corcoran. Hello. I've been John O'Donnell, and I'd like to thank you for listening and ask you to subscribe to the YouTube channel and or like our Facebook page. That's all for now.
Fantasy football. I need more people that I can be.
Well, you've got to put the code up.
We have.
Yeah, well, you're going to do it again.
Some
months ago.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you again next week. All right, whatever.